The Whispering Abyss. The cabin stood at the edge of a forest that stretched endlessly into the night, shrouded in a mist so thick it clung to your skin like damp fingers. I hadn't intended to stay there, but my car had broken down miles from civilization, and the faint glow in the distance was my only refuge. By the time I reached the cabin, the sun had vanished, swallowed by a horizon painted in hues of black and violet. The door creaked open without resistance. Inside, the air was stale, as if no one had breathed it for years. A single lantern sat on the table, its weak flame barely illuminating the cramped room. I closed the door behind me and turned the lock. It clicked, but the sound offered no comfort. I sat by the lantern, staring at the shifting shadows it cast. My phone was dead, and the silence pressed against my ears like static. That's when I noticed it. The faintest whisper, barely audible, like the rustle of dry leaves. At first, I thought it was the wind, but there was no breeze, and the whispers grew louder, more distinct. Words, fractured and disjointed, slid through the cracks in the walls. He comes. Beneath. Do not look. A chill coursed through me. I moved to the window, peering out into the fog-drenched woods. Nothing stirred. No animals. No trees swaying. Just stillness. Yet the whispers persisted, rising and falling in an eerie rhythm. I backed away from the window and stumbled over something on the floor. It was a journal, leather-bound and worn. The pages were brittle, covered in spidery handwriting that seemed to quiver on the paper. Do not stay past midnight. The abyss watches. It whispers truths you must not hear. The clock above the fireplace read 11:43. My heartbeat quickened. I tried the door, but it wouldn't budge, as if the lock had melted into the frame. The whispers grew louder, now unmistakably coming from beneath the floorboards. I dropped to my knees, pressing my ear to the wooden planks. For a moment, there was silence. Then, a guttural voice, deep and resonant, spoke a single word. Stay. I recoiled, scrambling to my feet. The lantern flickered violently, casting the room in a strobe of light and shadow. I grabbed a chair, slamming it against the door, desperate to break it down. The wood splintered, but not enough to escape. The clock struck midnight. The whispers turned into a cacophony. Voices overlapping, screaming, laughing, crying. The floorboards trembled, and a black liquid began to seep through the cracks, thick and reeking of decay. I stepped back, but the liquid followed, pooling around my feet. A face emerged in the darkness, elongated, hollow-eyed, its mouth an abyss within an abyss. It didn't move, but I felt its gaze pierce through me, stripping me bare. You were warned, it said, its voice a symphony of agony. I screamed, clawing at the door as the darkness surged upward, consuming the walls, the lantern, the air. My vision blurred, and the last thing I saw was its mouth opening, an endless void pulling me in. When I awoke, I was lying in the forest. The cabin was gone, and so was the fog. The morning sun filtered through the trees, warm and indifferent. My car was parked on the dirt road, engine running as if it had never failed. I drove away, hands trembling on the wheel. But the whispers have never left me. They linger in the silence, in the shadows, reminding me of that endless void and the truth I cannot unhear. He comes. Beneath. Do not look.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like for more.